this episode of Off The Script for December 25th, 2016, I got news on Vince McMahon and his impression of Big Cass. Will Big Cass have a breakout year in 2017? WWE planning huge Wrestlemania match for Sasha Banks. What does that entail? Also, reason why Cesaro was not traded off Monday Night Raw. WWE officials have a huge 2017 planned for the Swiss Superman. Creative thinking behind the ending of the feud between Charlotte and Sasha Banks. Where does it go from here? Also, big-time Monday Night Raw star is about to take time off from television. And finally, Kevin Owens, his WrestleMania plans revealed. All this, plus so much more, on Off The Script.
JD from New York, 206. It's time for Off The Script. Big Show and Ryback, Strowman and Roman. Get off my fucking TV and save me the misery. And all you fucking goons, just grab a cold beer. The man of the hour is finally here. JD from New York, 206. It's time for Off The Script. JD from New York, 206. It's time for Off The Script.
You know, I wanted to do something different for you guys today. And I'm not the biggest fan of Christmas at all. I really don't care. It's honestly another day to me, man. It really has been. And you know, it's not to say that I have had bad Christmases. I've had nice Christmases. I've had loving Christmases over the past couple of years, you know. But there's always something that I shied away from in not talking about, and I want to go over today my worst Christmas ever. And I figured you guys would like to hear this because I really haven't explained this at all. I haven't talked about it, being that I've been on here for 149 episodes on Off The Script. We went through a couple of Christmases together. Really haven't explained this story to you. So I figured I'd do it today. My worst Christmas ever. Okay. Now, it stars me, obviously. It stars this girl that I knew down in South Jersey when I was living down in South Jersey. I was living in Atlantic City with my ex-girlfriend, now, obviously. But at the time, she was my girlfriend, Sarah. She cheated on me twice. Once on Halloween with two brothers in a threesome. And then she cheated on me again with somebody she worked with at the Rainforest Cafe at the Trump Plaza. She cheated on me with a busboy. That's twice. So I tried to hang on to a relationship. She wanted to go in other directions. One thing led to another. She dumped me. And after 5 years, I was alone. I was living on my own. I moved from Atlantic City. I got a new place in Ventnor. I live with my regional manager at Starbucks, who eventually quit Starbucks. He became a regional director for Auntie Anne's Pretzels because that's where he originally started in the industry. He was a very, very good, dear friend to me. We lost contact over the years. He became a pastor in his church. He got married. He had a kid. He's living his life, etc., etc. So that is what happened with that. But I was living in Ventnor, okay? I replaced him. I got a roommate. And I was doing good for myself. Funny thing is, Sarah dumped me, right? And the guy that she left me for beat her. Who do you think she called? Who do you think she called after the guy that she left me for beat the shit out of her? She called me. She tried to track me down. She knew where I worked. People relayed the message to me. Oh, Sarah called you. What? Really? Why? So she wanted to meet up. She wanted to kind of rekindle things, right? So I pull up to her mom's house in Port Republic, New Jersey, right? Fucking deer, fucking jumping all over the place. I'm like, where the fuck am I, man? Am I hunting for Bambi, or am I fucking going to this house? What the fuck's going on? Right? I came this close from hitting a fucking deer with my Mustang. So I was a nervous wreck driving there. But this has nothing to do with the story, by the way. I'm just telling you what had happened with this particular, person. So I pull up to her mom's house in the Mustang, right? She looks out the window. She comes down the stairs, down the porch, to the outside to greet me. She's like, the first thing she does, after seeing me for the first time in, 4 years. Well, you're doing well for yourself. Oh, yeah, bitch, I am. Yeah. So just hearing that made my night. Yeah, I'm doing well for myself, bitch. What happened to you? You're dating some fucking old, fat, drunk, who is an on and off air conditioner maintenance guy, whatever the fuck he was doing. I don't know who the fuck he was. He was a fucking piece of shit. That's all I need to tell you. So when I pulled up in the Mustang, yeah, she knew what was going on. Ooh, look at that. Yeah, okay. Anyway, so I was dumped by her, and I was cheated on twice. So it took me, I'd say about 7 months to find someone else, because all I did was work. All I did after I was broken up or after I was dumped, all I wanted to do was make money, working overtime, getting that bonus, making sure the store was doing good, working with my buddy Ricky, who was the regional manager, making him proud, doing him good, didn't want to make him look bad at all. So that's where I focused most of my attention. And it comes to a point where we still had MySpace. And MySpace was a big thing. And I met this girl on MySpace. Her name was Ashley. And there's a reason why. There's two names in this world I will have nothing to do with ever again. One is Ashley, because I fucking hate that name after what I'm about to tell you. Number two, Stephanie. Because every Stephanie that I have ever come across in my lifetime is a complete fucking cunt. Seriously. Those are the two names I will never associate with ever again. If your name is Ashley or Stephanie, go fuck yourself. Anyway, MySpace. I meet this girl on MySpace because, recommended people. I see this girl. I look at her profile. I send her a nice message. Hey, how you doing? I like your profile. In her profile, she had bands that I listened to. Morbid Angel, Chrysion from Brazil. Who else did she have in there? Immolation, Morbid Angel, Malevolent Creation. I'm like, oh shit, I found someone who's a girl who listens to the same death metal that I do? Really? Is this a troll or is this real life? So we get to know each other and we eventually meet. I invite her over to place. She's very reserved, very quiet. I didn't know much about her history. I don't know if she was hurt back in the day, or I didn't know anything. All I know is that she moved from Florida to live with her mother, who was living in Galloway, Absecon, New Jersey. The parents were divorced. She came up here to live with her mother and find a job and, pretty much get on her own 2 feet. So we walk to the Italian deli the night that she comes over. We're meeting for the first time. I get us some calzones, or the pizzeria rather, calzones. And we go back to my place. We're watching a movie. We're just enjoying each other's company. There was no funny business. I started to give her a back rub, I believe. We ended up passing out on the couch, and that was it. She drove home. Nice to know you. Goodbye. Nice night. Right? I was just happy that I met somebody else that I could potentially have something with. And that's what I was thinking. I was looking at, rebound, and I was looking to get on my own 2 feet again after what Sarah did to me. And Ashley was perfect at the time. So we got to know each other a little bit better. We hung out more. We went out to bars, and we just hung around, went to the mall. The things that friends would do. And it came to Christmas time, and at this point, I started to realize that there was another guy in the picture. His name was Rick. Now, I have no problem with Rick now at all. And I never had a problem with Rick. I didn't know Rick. But he was in the picture. And I believe he was interested in Ashley, and just by the way that he was talking with her, and by the way he was sending her messages on MySpace, I'm like, okay, so now I have a fucking goon who is in competition to get with Ashley, right? Or getting good with Ashley. So it was Christmas time, and, you know, I care enough for her to go out and buy her things here and there for Christmas. I wanted to make Christmas special for her because, you know, I didn't have a Thanksgiving. I didn't have a Christmas before I met Ashley. The last year that I had with Sarah, I spent Thanksgiving alone. I spent Christmas alone. She spent Thanksgiving with the guy that, literally, that she cheated on me with at the Rainforest Cafe. She went to a dinner with him for Thanksgiving and then has the balls enough to come home with Thanksgiving dinner for me at like 3 o'clock in the morning. Here you go. You know? So I didn't have a Thanksgiving. I didn't have a Christmas. I wanted to make Christmas special for me because I thought I had found someone that I really could develop something with, and I wanted to make Christmas special for her. I even met her mother on several occasions. Her mother loves me. You know? Her mother adored me. And I've known Ashley for 8 or 9 years. You know, we haven't talked for years now. And her mother, up until the day that I stopped communication with her, has always liked me. And I always thought in the back of her mother's mind that I was the right guy for her. Because I always treated her, out of every guy that she's had, or she's been with, or has known, I've always treated her the best out of everybody. And this was the beginning of that. I wanted to make Christmas special for her. And Rick was in the picture, and, you know, as you know, the days were going on, I was finding things here and there. I went to the mall. I got her mother Christmas gifts. I got Ashley Christmas gifts. And being that I was, you know, hanging out with her, she invited me over to Rick's house for whatever fucking reason. She wanted me to accompany her to Rick's house. Right? And I don't know why. Don't know why I went. I reluctantly went. So we walk in, and Rick's got her this big Christmas gift, and I'm rolling my fucking eyes, and I barely said anything because I was fucking completely out of my comfort zone. And Rick is bragging about what he got her. And I mumble under my breath, looks like I gotta outdo my competition. Because I knew that's exactly what it was, right? And I don't know if she heard me or not. She might have. I really don't know. You know? Well, I got to do one better. Something along those lines that I stated. So, eventually, I don't even remember what he got her. We eventually left. This was Christmas Eve, right? So, that night, I go spend Christmas Eve with Ashley and her mother at her house. And I deliver like fucking Santa Claus. I deliver her all these trinkets, all these gifts. Got her an iPod. I got her fucking... what else did I get? I got her a Build-A-Bear. I don't even remember what else I got. It was like 4 or 5 different things I got her, right? I wanted to make it special. I even got her mother, who was addicted to fucking Elvis figurines. I got her mother a set of these beautiful ceramic Elvis Presley figurines, right? Made it fucking beautiful for both of them. Because I was making great money at Starbucks. I had a low cost of living where I was with my roommate. And I thought things were well. So the night ends. We have hot cocoa. We watch Christmas movies. Everything is nice. I'm thinking everything is great, right? Ashley is really into me. And I made things special. I'm the one guy that she can count on. I'm making her feel good. There's no way that I can fuck this up. There's no way that this could go wrong. So I'm home one night, and I don't remember what happened between that night on Christmas Eve and what I'm about to tell you. I don't remember what happened. I don't know if we got into an argument. I don't know if I said something outlandish or stupid, but it was... One night I was home by myself, right? And it was raining. And she messaged me on MySpace, and she said something to the effect that, you know, you made me feel bad. You made me feel guilty. I don't exactly remember what she said. But it resulted in her not even coming in. She drove all the way to my apartment in Ventnor, New Jersey, and she had delivered a trash bag and put it right outside my back door. What was in the trash bag was everything that I had gotten her for Christmas. So, after all that I went through and all the money that I spent to make her feel special, to make her Christmas one of the most memorable she's ever had, she takes everything that I bought her, she puts it in a trash bag, and delivers it to my back door without even knocking, without even coming in, without even acknowledging me that she's there. She messages me on MySpace, says, I left you something outside the back door. In the rain. So how do you think I felt after that? How do you think I felt about Christmas after that? And it was on and off with her ever since then. It was a friendship, and it was not. On and off. Because I don't know if she had demons that she was battling. She wasn't right in the head at all. You know, I eventually moved 5 minutes away from where her mother was living, where she was living with her mother. We were practically neighbors. And we hung out. We were big into ghost adventures, and we were big into, you know, all that paranormal shit. You know, I'd hang out with her mother, and, you know, she was the one I always confided in and called upon when we had nothing to do, and she did the same thing to me. I eventually lost contact with her as I completely broke her down into 1,000 pieces, because being friend zoned for as long as I have with her, after everything that I did for her, she continued to just date the biggest fucking degenerates that you could possibly ever imagine. Degenerate after degenerate after degenerate. She was with this guy for 4 years who just totally treated her like shit. I said something about it. And I broke her down so bad that she was nothing but a fucking ball of tears. And she couldn't believe that I had that within me to talk to her that way. She said that I reminded her of her father and how he gets when he's angry. I eventually left New Jersey and I moved back to New York. And I really didn't talk to her ever since then. But all of that came out because of the years of how she treated me that particular Christmas, which will never go away. Who does that type of shit? You know, who does that type of thing? So, on this Christmas, I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, and I hope that you never go through what I went through that Christmas. That was my worst Christmas ever. Something that I will never forget, because, you know, I'm a genuine nice guy, and that's what I do. And that's pretty much something that really has scarred me, and I don't look at Christmas the same way anymore, man. I really don't. So, I wanted to share that with you guys. Instead of making a separate video about it, I figured we'd do it here on Off The Script, because, you know, this is my biggest audience, and I figured you guys would enjoy that. I know you guys like to hear the personal side of things, and I wanted to share that with you. So, there you have it. That is my worst Christmas of all time. All right, now, let's get into the business. I want to thank everybody for the support over parts 1 and 2 for Off The Script. If you guys missed that, links will be down in the description below. Continue to vote for Off The Script on WrestlingRadioAwards.com. Vote for Show of the Year. Type in Off The Script with JD from NY. And let's make Off The Script the podcast of the year on WrestlingRadioAwards.com. Make sure you guys are following me on Twitter at JD from NY206. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you guys have not done so already. Patreon, thank you to everybody that's pledged during the holiday season, man. I greatly appreciate your patronage. Patreon.com/JD from NY206. Thank you to everybody. We will be doing a Q&A at the end of this video, patron-only Q&A. So make sure you guys stay tuned towards the end of the video for Patreon Q&A, okay? But if you guys want to go on there, read the mission statement, find out what I'm doing, why I'm doing this, and why I want to take over the fucking world and the world of podcasting and get my feet within the industry of professional wrestling. It's all on there, man. Patreon.com/JD from NY206. If you guys don't want to do that, you can't afford it, and you want another option to support me and the show and the podcast and the channel, barbershopwindow.com, man. JD is Negan is the hottest selling t-shirt on Barbershop Window, man. Go get yours today, barbershopwindow.com. Type in Off The Script in the search bar. It'll bring you right to my online shop. I got a variety of different shirts. More ideas coming within the new year. So make sure you guys go check that out. Barbershopwindow.com and get your JD is Negan, Dana Brooke, Get Off My TV, Roman Reigns, Eva Marie, Big Show, Get Off My TV. The Goon City design is all on there. $19.99 and they ship worldwide. Pro Wrestling Crate. We did an unboxing on part 1. Make sure you guys go check that out. I got WWE Slam Crate by Loot Crate. Visit the link down below. I should be getting mine next week. We'll be doing an unboxing on episode 150 of Off The Script. WWE Slam Crate by Loot Crate. We are sponsored by Loot Crate, and I want to save you guys some money. Visit the link that I provide down below and use the coupon code JD from NY at checkout. Bi-monthly subscription service. You're going to save yourself some money, man. So make sure you guys check that out. WrestleCrate.com and on Twitter at WrestleCrates. I didn't get my WrestleCrate. Very disappointed in that. But whatever the case may be, I still love them guys over there. WrestleCrate.com and on Twitter at WrestleCrates. Use the coupon code JDSENTME for 10% off. That is a monthly subscription service. And I'm still sick. Can't kick this cold, man. Cannot kick it. And finally, we got WrestleRumble.com. They will be doing a Royal Rumble Pick'em, the toughest Pick'em of the year. So make sure you guys go check that out. WrestleRumble.com. Bookmark that. I will give you guys information as it becomes available. Huge prizes going out for WrestleRumble.com. And finally, check out House of Glory Wrestling on YouTube.com. There's going to be stuff that I'm going to be doing on there. There's going to be stuff that you're going to be hearing with me and Matthew Ryan Shapiro. They just released the 6-minute teaser for their House of Glory 6-year anniversary show featuring the Dudleys and the Broken Hardys. Me and Matt called the show. It's fucking awesome. I just got word back that Ken Broadway, their Crown Jewel champion, and Leo Rush, one of the matches that my boy Isaac listened to, said it was fucking gold. I can't wait for you guys to hear the commentary from House of Glory number 6. So make sure you guys go subscribe to them. I want to get them up with the audience, and I want to get them closer to 10,000 subs. They're practically at 5,100 subs, man. So they're doing great so far for themselves. House of Glory Wrestling on YouTube.com. Make sure you guys go and check that out. We're going to start off the script with this story here. Vince McMahon and his evolving impression of Big Cass on WWE's main roster. What does this mean for Big Cass in 2017? Vince McMahon's evolving impression of Big Cass on WWE's main roster. Ironically enough, Enzo and Cass never got to hold the NXT Tag Team titles, and they've yet to capture the gold on the main roster either. Originally, they were penciled in to enter a major program with the Day of the New, where they'd become the new champions at WrestleMania 33 next April. That remained on the table for quite some time, but it was eventually scrapped in favor of the Day of the New, dropping the belts to Cesaro and Sheamus after breaking the record for longest reigning tag team champs in WWE history. It's unclear exactly when Vince nixed a title program for Big Cass and Enzo, but the pair had to endure a bump in the road early on upon their promotions. Less than a month after their arrival, Enzo suffered a scary concussion when he was legitimately knocked out during a tag team match against the Vaudevillains at WWE Payback. Vince lost some measure of confidence in Enzo and viewed him similarly in a way he saw Sasha Banks, in that they were injury prone. It wasn't even Enzo's fault. It wasn't even Enzo's fault that he got concussed. I mean, Simon Gotch absolutely rocket launched him in an Irish whip. It wasn't even like Enzo had time to react. It was an Irish whip that was executed in the middle of the ring, and Enzo had nothing to do. He had nothing that he could have done at the speed he was going. He's lucky he didn't end his career on that. That was scary. And everybody was scared for him. We were fucking thrilled to see him come back 2 weeks later. But that was not Enzo's fault. And Vince McMahon, it's unfair that he is labeling Enzo injury prone, because he really hasn't been injured since then. So I don't know where that report's coming from. But whatever the case, I think Vince needs to tighten the fucking screws that he's got loose in his head, because that's not fair to Enzo. Vince lost some measure of confidence in Enzo, viewed him the same as he sees Sasha Banks. However, Big Cass seemed to benefit from his partner's misfortune, getting showcased as a singles competitor while Enzo recovered. Even when Enzo was cleared to compete, Cass received more and more opportunities, including a huge Universal Championship match the week after Finn Balor was forced to relinquish it. In any event, we received reports that Vince was extremely high on Big Cass and already had designs of turning him into a major single star. He was, however, willing to let the tag team run its course without rushing it. Still, no tag team titles, but they did receive a high-profile program against Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho for this year's SummerSlam. According to Ringside News, what was once Vince's infatuation with Big Cass and his impressive size has evolved way beyond that. Vince is now reportedly impressed with his facial expressions and overall presence on television as well. But the feeling backstage is that the company will be able to help Big Cass improve on all aspects mentioned. The only thing I don't like about Big Cass is the fact that his promo ability comes off as robotic, it comes off as forced, and it just sounds very cringeworthy. You gotta tone it down and let them go out there and be somewhat free, man. You know, Big Cass was not like that in NXT. The difference between Big Cass's promo ability in NXT and on Monday Night Raw is night and day. I don't like it. And that is the biggest thing that needs to be worked on for Big Cass. What this means for Enzo and his future is unknown. But right now, around the time of his concussion in May, talk had already circulated that his long-term plans probably revolved around the role of manager for Big Cass. Vince has always felt that the purpose of smaller superstars was to get beat up by larger superstars unless they were extremely gifted in the ring. Big Cass has entered into a transitional feud with Rusev to test the waters on his ability to perform by himself. Enzo has been used as fodder for the most part, but the two are expected to team up in a tag team match against Rusev and Jinder Mahal on Monday Night Raw. If Vince greenlights both for an appearance in the Royal Rumble, their chances of competing in a tag team match at WrestleMania improve. But if Big Cass is the only one entered, that might give a clear indication of what's to come for both Big Cass and Enzo on Monday Night Raw. You know, to be perfectly honest with you, the way WWE is going right now, I don't think they want anything to do with Big Cass and Enzo as a tag team. And that's a damn shame. I think WWE completely missed the boat on these guys. And they were the hottest act, tag team-wise, to come around in a very, very long time. You know, comparisons to the New Age Outlaws were being thrown around with the way they get everybody involved with their intro and their entrance. And this team and the tag team division was really looking like it was on the up and up. And now that they split the rosters, it looks like Cass and Enzo have absolutely nothing to work with. They went through the club. They went through the phase with the Shining Stars, and now it's Enzo taking a back seat, fucking around with Lana in hotel rooms as he's getting beat up every fucking week, and Big Cass is trying to clean up the mess. At this point, I don't even think I care what happens to Big Cass and Enzo. If Cass ends up going up on his own and being a single star, so be it. But then you're going to be wasting Enzo. And you're going to be wasting a huge opportunity at one damn good fucking tag team. Because when they came to the main roster, everything about Enzo and Cass quickly diminished. Just like everything else that's brought up from NXT. WWE does nothing with them but sell merchandise and crack jokes and have a funny entrance. That's it. Meanwhile, these guys, as a tag team, is fucking great. Watch Roadblock in March and watch their match with the Revival and tell me that's not a damn good fucking wrestling match. These guys have the capability of being and leading WWE's tag team division. Why they are being wasted away, I don't know. You know? This is not even... It's not even a fucking year of them being on the main roster yet. And WWE is already thinking about breaking them up. Come on, man. It's not right. And WWE, again, rushing to get another tag team broken up. Rushing to get another singles guy because they haven't created any new singles superstars. Nor are they interested in any. It sucks. Enzo and Cass need to be a tag team. And I would love to see Enzo and Cass really compete on SmackDown. I'd love that. And I know. Not everybody can be on SmackDown. You know, it's a 2-hour show. Eventually everybody's going to get pushed down and not featured and this and that. But that's the great thing about a draft. Reshuffle the rosters. I would love to see Enzo and Cass just bring it in the tag team division. Instead of fucking clowning around with Rusev and Lana and Enzo not having a huge role on the show. Oh, but JD, he's receiving TV time, but he's not receiving TV time to look good. He's being made to look like a fucking joke. Big Cass does have upside. He does need work. Clearly not ready. But I would love to see these guys stick it out as a tag team, win some tag team titles, lead a division that needs a presence like them, and then, after a few years, you could think about breaking them up and sending Big Cass on his own. When he's developed mic time and mic presence, and he doesn't sound like a fucking robot and isn't overly scripted. Seriously, now is not the time. Get these guys in a serious role in the tag team division, have them lead a division that's fucking drowning right now, and then you can break up Big Cass and Enzo and do what you want with Big Cass as a singles guy. That's just my opinion on that. WWE planning a huge WrestleMania 33 for Sasha Banks. WWE and their women don't know what they got planned for WrestleMania, but Sasha Banks may not be featured in the WWE women's title scene for quite a while, being that she just lost her final match to Charlotte. But that doesn't mean the powers that be don't have big plans for the boss heading into WrestleMania. At WWE Roadblock, end of the line, Banks lost the women's title to Charlotte in the first ever women's Iron Man match on the main roster. I must make that clear. Who's ever describing that as the first ever women's Iron Man match, clearly you're a goon. It was the third straight time that Banks lost the title to Charlotte during her first title defense. Unfortunately for Banks, her rivalry with Charlotte will have to end on that note for the foreseeable future. WWE programming is now finally moving on to new feuds for the women's division on Raw heading into 2017 and the Royal Rumble. Vince McMahon reportedly has big plans for Bayley, and it's likely she'll be the one to take the strap off Charlotte's shoulder for good, but that doesn't mean the boss has been forgotten. Bayley may be ascending to WWE superstardom over the next few months, but Sasha Banks is going to be a very important role, or be a very important figure to the women's division through WrestleMania 33 next year and beyond. It has come to light that Vince McMahon isn't the biggest fan of Sasha Banks, which I reported earlier, because of her history with injuries during her career. However, there are still huge plans for her in the works at WrestleMania. Based on the last episode of Raw, the boss has begun a feud with Nia Jax heading into 2017. The two women haven't crossed paths yet, so their dynamic will be fresh, and Nia's size and in-ring style will provide Sasha with a new challenge in the ring. It's likely that Banks will be it's likely that Banks will be putting over Nia the next couple of weeks in the build towards the Royal Rumble, but she'll likely end up getting the victory in the end. As of this writing, it's unclear how long WWE officials are planning for the Banks-Jax feud to last, but it seems like their rivalry will last through Fastlane in February. Or Fastlane is in March. Elimination Chamber is in February. For SmackDown, Fastlane will be a Raw exclusive pay-per-view, while Elimination Chamber will be a SmackDown exclusive pay-per-view. Of course, it could always extend through WrestleMania 33. I doubt it. On what grounds would it last WrestleMania 33? What underlying issue is there? that should need to last for 3 months. I don't know. However, a new report is hinting that WWE officials may have something bigger planned for the boss on WWE's grandest stage next year in Orlando. According to that report, Sasha Banks is scheduled to have a huge match at WrestleMania 33 next year. Her potential opponent hasn't been revealed yet, but that is telling because WWE could have someone unexpected planned for her in Orlando next year. Logically, her opponent could be someone coming into the company from outside the WWE, or her mystery opponent could be an NXT star like Asuka, making her WWE debut. Recently, Mickie James made her WWE return to NXT, and she's expected to return to the main roster and WWE television soon. It has also been reported by Triple H and Stephanie McMahon that they are planning a new tournament for all female talents from the industry on the WWE Network in early 2017. So WWE is actively looking outside the company for female talent, which will likely give WWE many new female performers. By WrestleMania 33, Banks could have plenty of fresh opponents to choose from for WWE's biggest show of the year. Despite reports that WWE officials wanted to book Bayley vs. Sasha for the grandest stage of them all in Orlando, it's now being reported that both women will have separate matches on the show. For now, Sasha Banks will be kept busy with Nia Jax on WWE television. Whenever their rivalry concludes, WWE's creative plans for the boss will be revealed. It's been rumored that she may be turning heel before WrestleMania 33 as well, so a lot can happen over the next few months. WWE fans will just have to wait. I don't see WWE having 2 women's matches on the show. I think, and I mentioned this already, I would not be surprised to see a triple threat match between Banks, Bayley, and Sasha at WrestleMania. And if you want, Bayley could win it. She can end Charlotte's undefeated pay-per-view winning streak by pinning the champion for the title. And Banks could turn heel in the process. Something could happen in that match that causes a rift between both Banks and Bayley. And then after the match, Banks could come out, celebrate with Bayley after she just beat Charlotte, and attack her and brutally attack her after the match, turning her heel. And then you could set up Bayley versus Sasha Banks for the WWE Women's Championship. That's just an idea, but I would not be surprised if we see a triple threat match. I don't see Sasha Banks going against anybody else, and I don't see WWE bringing in anybody outside to fight Sasha. I don't see them having 2 women's matches at WrestleMania. The only other thing I could see is if they do want to have another women's match between 2 women. Banks, Mickie James. That could be something. An interpromotional type of match, you know, on top of Bayley versus Charlotte. But that remains to be seen. My first guess would be a triple threat match. Banks, Bayley, and Charlotte at WrestleMania. Not out of the question, but we will find out as we get closer to WrestleMania 33. Reason why Cesaro was not traded from Raw to SmackDown, and WWE officials have huge plans for him in 2017. Immediately after the draft, Cesaro got a lot of attention after letting loose about his position in WWE. He was the 28th pick in the draft. Wow. Awful. Which was insanely low for a man of his talent. It was rumored that WWE officials had taken notice after his grievances were aired on WWE programming, and a better position and bigger push was being planned for Cesaro after the brand extension. Cesaro's new push didn't happen overnight, though. There were rumors about him possibly leaving the WWE at the end of the year. His position on Raw didn't change for a few months as the feud with Sheamus rallied on through a best-of-7 series. It was heavily rumored that he could just be leaving Raw or SmackDown, or leaving Raw for SmackDown, rather, where he could have much more of an opportunity with Daniel Bryan and the Blue Brand. However, a trade between the 2 brands for Cesaro never amounted. Instead, the rivalry between Cesaro and Sheamus became a forced partnership, and the 2 have eventually gelled into a strong tag team. Less than 24 hours from their making WWE history after defeating New Day and dethroning them as tag team champions, the New Day had accumulated a title reign of 483 days. So, Cesaro and Sheamus dethroned the champions after they broke the record of longest reigning tag team champions of all time at Roadblock. Now, Cesaro isn't going anywhere. He'll be staying on Raw for the foreseeable future. The momentum boost on Cesaro and Sheamus after defeating the New Day is substantial. It's far too early to tell how long the duo will hold the tag team titles, but the assumption is it will be for some time. Whenever that day comes, WWE officials apparently have big plans for both men, Cesaro and Sheamus, in 2017. Their tag team title win is said to be just the start for Cesaro and Sheamus to become two of WWE's biggest stars. I doubt that, but let's continue. Cesaro forced WWE's brass to pay attention after making it known he was unhappy with his role, and he's made WWE history now with Sheamus. If he had been traded to SmackDown, he might have had a stronger role with WWE as a singles guy. However, he's made a bigger impact on Raw and will be doing more in 2017. According to recent reports, the reason why Cesaro wasn't traded off Raw to SmackDown is because WWE officials thought his work with Sheamus was doing both men a lot of good. The powers that be believe that Sheamus is better than he has ever been during his career. They're saying, or said to be, very high on Sheamus right now. And Cesaro is getting a lot of credit for that. WWE officials believe he's been bringing the best out of Sheamus. Now that the pair has won the tag team championships, they will be pushed as one of WWE's top tag teams. Obviously, that means big things for them in 2017. Their success throughout 2017 is expected to be a launching pad for both men to excel as singles stars whenever their team is disbanded. Sheamus is already a multiple-time world champion, but this could finally be the push to get Cesaro into the WWE title picture. WWE Universe has been clamoring for the Swiss Superman to reach main event status for quite a while, and as the Cesaro section continues to grow and his tag team success continues to impress the WWE officials, it may finally be his opportunity to be a WWE World Champion in 2017. At this rate, it's only a matter of time. I am disappointed that Cesaro didn't end up on SmackDown, but I will say this. The pairing between Cesaro and Sheamus at the start, it really didn't look like it was going to amount to anything. But now that you look back at what they did and what Mick Foley did by pairing them in a best-of-7 series, at first, it was whatever. Sheamus went up 3-0. Cesaro, the reports were going around saying that Cesaro was going to be catapulted into superstardom by beating Sheamus 4 times straight. But what would that do to Sheamus on the opposite end, It would make him look like a fucking scrub. It would make him look like a bum. So they had a match 7, and the match 7 was fucking great. It came to a draw, and looking back on it, when it happened, we were pissed because we didn't get a definitive winner. But now looking back on it, and looking at where WWE is going with these guys, it makes sense. It makes sense. How could you have Sheamus lose 4 in a row? How could you have the burial of Sheamus like that? Sheamus would never recover from that, man. People would always look at Sheamus in that type of light as a fucking mid-carder for life on Monday Night Raw. So it ended up being a draw. And seeing where we are now, it worked. Not only did they deliver one of the best matches this year, but they now are working together in what was a throwaway tag team. They're working together and probably one of the more viable tag teams on WWE television. If it's going to make Sheamus better in the end by pairing him with Cesaro, that's great. Now, what they do with Sheamus after this, because it's not going to last forever, that's going to be strictly on how WWE Creative pushes Sheamus. And it's going to be up to Sheamus to take that ball and elevate himself. There's only so much WWE Creative can do. There's only so much that the fans can do. He's got to really elevate himself and differentiate himself from anything we've seen before with Sheamus. Cesaro is showing you how valuable he is right now. He is great in the ring, and we knew that. People have been wanting him in the main event for years because of how great he was. And it seems like he's always had the short end of the stick. Tag teams, broken up. Tag teams, injury. Now he's with Sheamus, and now he's in a tag team that's actually working. A tag team that's over. And he's making Cesaro better because of it. Look at how great Cesaro is. Look at how valuable Cesaro is to Monday Night Raw. And if there's another thing I could add to the very, very, very short list of things that Monday Night Raw did right, they're creating a new star in Braun Strowman. And they are taking a veteran in Sheamus, and they're making him relevant again with someone who people have a desire to see on their television, with Cesaro. They're utilizing Cesaro for his in-ring ability, which we knew was there, but they're also utilizing him and his popularity and how great he really is to get Sheamus over. So the two things that Monday Night Raw did right this year, Braun Strowman, and we're getting a tag team that we didn't think was going to work, but in the end ended up being one of WWE's real success stories, Sheamus and Cesaro. So I know Cesaro, and hopefully Cesaro is catapulted into World Championship caliber material by the end of the year. But as for Sheamus, I don't know, man. People, I feel like Sheamus is just rinse and repeat. I don't think people are going to really latch on to Sheamus like they are Cesaro. Sheamus may end up being right back where he was before all this started. That's what I have a fear of. But if WWE thinks that they can make Sheamus into a top guy, by all means, you need top guys. And he's not bad in the ring at all. Sheamus is always very, very good in the ring. I've never seen a bad Sheamus match. He always delivers quality. Same thing with Cesaro. But out of the two, clearly Cesaro has more upside than Sheamus. And I hope that Sheamus can really come out of this when it's time looking like a legit superstar. That's all we can hope for. But I'm enjoying the act. I would have never taken the belts off the New Day, to be honest with you. WWE, I think, really hot-shotted the titles as soon as the record was broken. It's like they only wanted to break the record, and that was it. WWE had an opportunity to now have fun with the record, being that you already broke it. Why not extend it? Why not bring in an outside tag team? I mentioned, the Broken Hardys are contracted to TNA in February. Why not bring in the Broken Hardys for a program with the Day of the New at WrestleMania? And have the Broken Hardys win the tag team championships? That would be fucking great. That would be something great. The Broken Hardys infiltrating Monday Night Raw and fighting for the tag team championships. That would have been something people would have loved to see. But WWE didn't go with that. And they're looking at Sheamus and Cesaro as carrying the tag team division for Monday Night Raw into 2017. We got news here on a WWE superstar taking time off from television and the real reason for his absence. Superstar in question is Mick Foley. Mick Foley is taking time off to spend the holidays with his family and to do his volunteer work as Santa. Mick Foley is a huge Santa guy. He has an entire room. If you guys watched Holy Foley, he's got a whole room in his house dedicated to Christmas. Christmas 365 days a year for Mick Foley. He is not being released, and he's not being fired. So that was reported by ProWrestlingSheet.com and Ryan Satin. They confirmed that Foley's going to be off television for a while, even though he's in the middle of a rather interesting storyline with Sami Zayn. This is a storyline that has been going on for more than a month now and has really picked up a lot of steam. Foley isn't going to be part of any storylines for the next few weeks, and that was the reason for it. Mick Foley, on the show as general manager for Monday Night Raw, has allowed Commissioner Stephanie McMahon to take a lot more of a backstage role. She doesn't have to appear on WWE television as much for WWE, and this allows Mick Foley to kind of take control of things on Raw. Now, some may say that the last 2 weeks of the year likely won't be a big deal as the show can survive without either McMahon or Foley. Yes, Raw can survive without both of them, but Foley taking time off from television with the storyline and Sami Zayn being involved is kind of a strange move by WWE. Sami Zayn failed to win his match against The Miz at Survivor Series and bring the Intercontinental title to Raw, as he's been under the gun. Mick Foley had to put Sami Zayn in a match against Braun Strowman due to the orders of Stephanie McMahon, who said that Zayn needed to be punished for his failure. Zayn was absolutely decimated by the Giant and has vowed to get his revenge for weeks now, but Foley wouldn't give him another match. On Raw, Zayn demanded a trade. Foley said he would trade Zayn to Smackdown for Eva Marie. He later rescinded that trade just to hype up Sami Zayn and get that fire building within him. Finally, Foley gave into Zayn and granted him his match with Braun Strowman, but it isn't just as simple as a regular bout. It was a 10-minute time limit. If Zayn could prove that he could last 10 minutes with Sami Zayn against Braun Strowman, he would have proved to Mick Foley that he is worth the time. Roadblock, end of the line. We seen Mick Foley come out, and then we seen him again on Raw. So I don't know what's going on with that. Foley is not being fired or suspended. So that is the reason why Mick Foley is going to be taking time off. I'm also hearing that he's going to be taking time off for hip replacement surgery as well. He didn't look good at all, and there's reports that he's limping and he's not looking good at all. But he did start DDP yoga, and he lost close to 100 pounds. So good for Mick Foley on that. The shows really don't need him. If Stephanie's going to be back after the holiday, she could have a week or two, even though I don't like either one of them. But as far as the end of the year, we really don't need authority figures. Mick should go get himself right. Go get the surgery. Go spend time with your families. You know, go do your holiday thing as Santa. And that's it. The one we have to worry about here is Sami Zayn. You know, what are they going to do with Sami Zayn? How is this going to pick up? Was that the end? Or is there anything more for this Sami Zayn storyline? So, I don't know. We got to see what's going on with that. But Mick Foley should be taking time off from television this Christmas season, going to be spending time with his family as Santa. We might see him tomorrow. I have no idea. You know, but if he's not, clearly he you know, the report from Pro Wrestling Sheet will have some validity to it. And then obviously the hip surgery, we all know he needs hip surgery as well to repair those bad hips. And he looked terrible on Monday Night Raw in that segment with Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens. Speaking of Kevin Owens, WrestleMania plans for Kevin Owens have been revealed. We all know the Royal Rumble is just around the corner, and it's being planned by WWE as one of the biggest pay-per-views of the year, probably in Royal Rumble history, and they're trying to put out the best card possible. You know, they already announced Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens in a rematch for the Universal title. You got Jericho hanging above the fucking ring in a shark cage, and they're looking to sell out the Alamo Dome. So, the winner of Owens versus Reigns is going to reveal a lot about what the WWE does with the Universal Championship. We will see how WrestleMania takes shape. We figured that it would be at a roadblock how WWE shapes everything, but it's going to be with the Royal Rumble. Now, there have been a lot of rumors about what WWE's planned for Raw's top matches, but it's now being reported that they have big plans for Kevin Owens, whether he's the champion or not, coming out of the Royal Rumble. According to recent reports, there are 2 plans for Owens at WrestleMania 33 right now as of this report. Obviously, the dynamic between Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens has been a big focus on Raw for months. We know that Jericho versus Owens is coming. We just don't know if WWE is going to pull the trigger on it for WrestleMania with the title on the line or not. Okay? And obviously, there are reports that are stating that Jericho is going to be gone from the WWE following WrestleMania to do what he has to do with Fozzy, his heavy metal act. It was reported that Jericho's current deal with WWE has him on a month-to-month basis, so he could leave at any time. Fortunately, it seems he'll be staying through WrestleMania. However, those plans could change, and WWE might move Jericho versus Owens sooner, before WrestleMania. The good thing is that their match could be for the Universal title or not. Their feud stands on its own after months of build. After 3 months of hijinks between Jericho and Owens, that might be too much for the WWE fans. If it ends up being too much and WWE books their payoff before WrestleMania, there is a backup plan. It's been reported that Seth Rollins and Triple H could set up Rollins versus Owens again for the Universal title at WrestleMania. Of course, the return of Finn Balor will add another player into the game. Balor may not recover in time to participate in the Royal Rumble match, but it's being reported that Kevin Owens, if he retains the Universal Championship through the Royal Rumble, he'll most likely be facing Balor at WrestleMania. The past 4 months of WWE television would have been quite different if Balor had not been injured at SummerSlam and he remained WWE Universal Champion. Balor versus Owens is a natural progression of WWE television if the title is still on Owens' shoulder. Balor will be given a WWE Universal Championship match regardless, which will most likely culminate in him receiving his title shot at WrestleMania 33 no matter who the champion is by then. Balor challenging Owens just makes more sense storyline-wise since Owens was the one who replaced Balor. Ultimately, Kevin Owens is going to be a big part of WrestleMania next year, and WWE has him booked over the next 4 months of WWE television. With the feud with Jericho, that would be great, and that could culminate at any time. Owens versus Rollins is always high quality, and the backup plan of Balor challenging Owens to reclaim the title he never lost is storyline worthy for WrestleMania. no matter what happens between WWE Roadblock, Royal Rumble, and WrestleMania, Kevin Owens' career seems to be only going up. I don't know where this is going, to be honest with you. The way I see it now, I see Owens and Jericho at Mania without the title being on the line. I think that's what they do. I think that is where Owens beats Jericho. He beats his ex-best friend, and that is over with. Jericho could go on his own. He can come back later in the year after he's done recording with Fozzy, after he's done touring with Fozzy, and then Owens can be thrusted right back into the Universal title picture against a Roman Reigns, against a Balor, against a Rollins, you know. So when Balor comes back, it's going to add a nice little element to what is sorely missing on WWE television right now. But they got many different ways that they could go about this. You know, I reported that Strowman versus Reigns is where they're going right now. Strowman winning the Rumble, Reigns winning the title at Rumble, and them booking a Universal title match between Strowman and Roman to ultimately get Reigns over. I don't like that at all. I don't agree with that whatsoever. That is one idea. Balor coming in to win the Royal Rumble against everybody saying that he's not going to make the Rumble. He could win it. He could challenge Owens. He could challenge Reigns at WrestleMania. So either one of them, I could see WWE booking Balor versus Reigns. I could see WWE booking Owens versus Balor at WrestleMania. Those are not out of the question at all. But what about Sami Zayn? What is this storyline with Sami Zayn and Foley and Strowman going to amount to? Is this the end? Is this what we've seen? Conclusion? Or is this going to lead to Sami Zayn being in the Rumble with Strowman and getting one over on Strowman? Maybe he wins the Royal Rumble and he goes on to fight Kevin Owens at WrestleMania. And we see that huge match reborn again at WrestleMania for the Universal Championship. Maybe this is all leading to Sami Zayn proving to the authority that the underdog can succeed and that Foley was dead wrong and Stephanie was dead wrong about Sami Zayn. Maybe this results in Sami Zayn's WrestleMania moment for the Universal title. I don't know. I don't see Rollins challenging for the title this WrestleMania season. I think they're holding off on Rollins and Triple H for Mania. I think Triple H will be at Mania because what else are you going to do with Triple H? He's going to be at Mania. And I don't see them doing that before Mania. I don't see them doing it at the Rumble. I think the Rumble is going to be built up of undercard matches from both Raw and SmackDown. They don't want to put Triple H and Rollins on the same card where you got Lesnar and Goldberg in the Rumble and making a big deal about that and a potential Cena versus Styles match or an Undertaker versus Styles match. So they're not going to be on that card. They're going to save it for WrestleMania. So I don't see Seth Rollins being in the WrestleMania title talk at all until after Mania, until he beats Triple H. But those other scenarios, those are the top scenarios right now going into the Royal Rumble. But I think what WWE's got planned is Jericho versus Owens, not for the title, because Jericho's leaving. And I don't see Owens, the Universal Champion, after WrestleMania. I don't. I think they're going to give it to Reigns. I think they want their big guy to hold the title going into Mania. And I think they're going to book Strowman versus Reigns. That's what I think they're going to do. That's just my opinion on all of that. But like I said, WWE has a lot of different avenues that they can go down for Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. Finally, guys, we're going to end the podcast on this. Creative thinking behind the ending of the feud between Charlotte and Sasha Banks. The rivalry between, you can see the enthusiasm in my fucking voice. The rivalry between Charlotte and Sasha Banks fittingly came to a close at Roadblock. In fact, it may have been the only feud to reach its conclusion as Raw produced its WWE final pay-per-view of 2016. And appropriate enough, Charlotte and Sasha Banks put the bow on their program with a 30-minute Iron Man match, even though 30 minutes still wasn't enough. Charlotte forced Sasha to tap out to the figure 8 seconds before the time expired in regulation. 3 fucking seconds, resulting in a sudden death overtime period. A bloodied Sasha tapped out again in under 5 minutes, twice in 5 minutes, resulting in Charlotte capturing the Raw Women's Championship for a 4th time in 2016. The rivalry between Charlotte and Sasha predates their main roster rivalry, but unfolded before WWE's worldwide audience immediately upon their promotions last summer. Things revved up between the two for WrestleMania, which also included the presence of Becky Lynch. But once Sasha recovered from several post-Mania injuries, 2016 was all about the boss and the queen as it pertained to the women's division. That's it. Nobody else. Two women. Two women in a division that should be 8 deep, but is not. The Raw Women's Championship was introduced in April, replacing the outdated Divas title. And in 8 months since, Charlotte and Sasha have traded it back and forth a total of 7 fucking times. All 3 of Sasha's championship victories came during an episode of Raw, which never lasted more than 30 days, while Charlotte was victorious on each of the 4 pay-per-views, where the 2 went one-on-one. In the most recent episode of the Wrestling Observer radio show, Dave Meltzer indicated that WWE officials want Bayley versus Charlotte, and that is going to be Charlotte's next challenger, but they wanted to hold off on a match between the two until the Royal Rumble. This is largely why Charlotte's feud with Sasha was extended on for so long, as they didn't want to rush pairing Bayley up with either one just yet. So at WrestleMania, Charlotte will either see her 4th month plus feud with Bayley, depending on when it begins, reach its culmination with the title on the line, or she'll have the rumored marquee program with Ronda Rousey that is, again, rumored. If Rousey agrees to a deal, look for Bayley to then transition back to Sasha in a title program, presumably after Charlotte dropped it again at a non-pay-per-view event. Various reports around the internet noted that Sasha and Charlotte were pushing for a ladder match to close out their rivalry at Roadblock, while other WWE officials were campaigning for a steel cage match. Thank God the cage match didn't happen. I wouldn't mind a ladder match. I would not be surprised if we see a Money in the Bank ladder match for the women this year, to be honest with you. But we'll discuss that as Money in the Bank draws near. I'm surprised they haven't had that already, but I would not be against that at all. In the end, the decision was made to go with an Iron Man match because the cage would have been too much of a resemblance to the Hell in a Cell. I agree. There is also talk that the company is saving a ladder match for Money in the Bank. There you go. Not only did the WWE want to continue Charlotte's pay-per-view winning streak, but Meltzer pointed out that Vince McMahon remains skeptical on Sasha Banks, which I reported all through this weekend's podcast. This is in large part due to her work style and injury history. It remains to be seen whether she'll get a significant run with the title in the future, but it's extremely telling that her 3 reigns have lasted a combined 74 days, with 27 days being the longest reign. So there you go. That's the creative thinking behind WWE's overly fucking hyped women's feud between Charlotte and Sasha. Where they're going, they got plans for Charlotte and Bayley. They still don't know what they want to do at all. They're banking on Ronda Rousey. And again, I don't know why Ronda Rousey's name is even being brought up in discussion. Like I said earlier, I see Charlotte, Sasha, and Bayley in a triple threat match at WrestleMania. And I see Sasha turning heel. I think that's the best way to go about it. Charlotte could have her swan song there. She could have her pay-per-view record beaten there by the overly babyface Bayley. She can pin Charlotte. Sasha can come out to celebrate or celebrate with her and then attack her. Just like I mentioned earlier. Sasha turns heel. She has a whole new dynamic. And you have a babyface Bayley and they go at it. There you go. Simple. But I don't know why WWE's banking on Ronda Rousey. Don't understand it. I don't see why. You're banking on something that is not even there yet. Book with what you have. As far as a ladder match, they push for a ladder match. They push for a steel cage match. Steel cage match wouldn't have gone over at all because the Hell in a Cell was awful. And a ladder match, I'm glad they saved it because I don't want that to be done yet. I'm all for the women having these different stipulations, but they got to make sense. If you want a history-making moment, don't do it yet. You already gave these two history, quote-unquote, and to me, it's not even history. But for a Money in the Bank ladder match for the women, 3 on each brand, I think that's fucking great, man. I think that's a great way to go about it, and I wouldn't mind seeing that at all. So we'll see what happens. But all I know is this feud, thankfully, is over. Again, I beg to question, Bayley beat Charlotte 3 times already, so why am I even going to be interested in what we have going on here? I don't understand it. But whatever the case may be, we're getting something new, and hopefully people complain less than what they do or what they did with Charlotte and Sasha Banks. We'll see where WWE goes with this, but I'm not sitting here having high hopes for it. I'm not excited for it. It is what it is. If they provide something entertaining and exciting, I'll let you know. If not, I'll rip on it just like I did Charlotte and Sasha Banks for fucking 8 months. So there you got it. That's Off the Script, guys. Thank you guys so much. Again, I'm still feeling very much under the weather, and I barely made it through this podcast. But I want to thank each and every one of you. We hit 70,000, and we hit 15,000 followers on Twitter. So thank you to everybody that's been supportive. Sorry this got up so late. It's Christmas morning. I wanted to, rest, and I didn't feel good after my hellacious day yesterday. Hope you enjoyed my personal story that I really didn't share with anybody. And I will see you guys. I'm going to try and record something for tomorrow morning, Off the Script Extra. There's a story going around about Baron Corbin and AJ Styles and why he was actually added to the triple threat match that we're going to see on Tuesday's Smackdown's final episode of 2016. I might do something for that. And I got a story based on the WWE pay-per-view calendar and why they might be getting away from the brand-exclusive pay-per-views. So I got stories on that as well. So you might be seeing off-the-script extras sprinkled through the next couple of days. So keep an eye on that. But thank you guys for everything. Hit that thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below. Share the video if you can. And subscribe. Follow me on Twitter. All the good shit. Check the description for everything. And I will see you guys tomorrow morning for Off-the-Script Extra. Until then, have a Merry Christmas. Have a great day with your families. And I will see you guys tomorrow morning for more Off the Script. I'm JD. I'll talk to you later.